Morning, Year 8. In yesterday's lesson, you started to look at the prologue from Frankenstein. Can you remember what it means? Prologue is an introduction or a story that introduces the main story. Sometimes it's a speech at the start of a play that introduces key ideas in the play. English is a language that combines lots of different language. It's a mongrel language. We've got many words which derive from different languages. I wonder if you can think about why that is. Remember that Latin is the language of the Romans. French came from the Normans and William the Conqueror. And the last language, Norse, I mentioned, is one of the languages of the Vikings. Yet the reason, or one of the reasons, that we have such a diverse, rich language is because we've been invaded lots of times, and then those invaders have brought the influences of other languages like Greek, which very much influenced the Latin and language and the Romans. So which language do you think the word prologue comes from the previous list? Latin, Greek, French, Norse, Anglo-Saxon. It's interesting to try to work that out and see connections between words. It's actually a Greek word. It has a prefix, pro, which means before, and then the stem of the word logos means saying. So putting the word together, prologue or prologos means to speak or to say before, which reinforces that idea of an introduction. So what I'd like you to do today is to try to come up with a list of 5 words that use that prefix pro. For example, pronunciation. Look at the etymology of 2 of these words and write them down. So if you just Google, if you can, etymology of pronunciation, it will give you a breakdown, as I copied on the previous slide. And then when you've done that, see if you can think of any words that finish or that have the stem log, like dialogue. It's a bit more difficult. See if you can record the etymology of one of those words. So yesterday you looked at the prologue of Frankenstein, where Mary Shelley, the author, leads into the main story with an account of a captain's first sight of the monster. And I asked you to try, if you could, to read this to someone else, or certainly read it out loud, so that you could really pick up on the drama of the scene. You could think about those Gothic conventions. And then, what you tried to do, perhaps you need to look back at the conventions that you'd recorded from the previous lesson, because there are quite a few of them. You tried to select some Gothic elements, and you highlighted these on your sheet. What you're going to do now is look at the table that you then completed, because having picked up those devices, you recorded them on a table, and you're going to try to write a full paragraph in answer to this question. How has the writer used language to create a Gothic atmosphere in the prologue of Frankenstein? So an atmosphere, the sort of feeling around the text. How's the writer helping the reader to visualise and sort of experience, perhaps through various senses, the scene? And some of the things you've got to include are listed below. So there are some suggestions and sentence starters on this slide to help you think about your writing. You're thinking of what the writer does and then how they do it. You'll have to take a bit of time with this and then try to proofread it carefully. And then finally, I want you to have a go at a bit of creative writing. You're going to try to continue the story. Aim to write another 3 paragraphs, that's 3 sentences at least per paragraph, that develop the prologue from this point. What do you think happens next? Can you add in another Gothic convention that you didn't spot in that first section that you looked at yesterday and you've just written about? Try to find an effective one. Okay guys, well done. Hope you have a good day.